And this is the worst one out of everybody, in my opinion. Like, I went through and I saw what all the squad were saying, and AOC by far, in my opinion, has been running interference for Joe Biden and for the Democrats. Why? Because she has the most following. She is the most influence. The younger generations love her because if they don't know much about her, then on the surface, she seems like, oh, she's doing good. She's explaining things. She goes on Instagram. She's making these Instagram posts while she's peeling oranges and cutting and cooking and all this stuff. Like, that is something like she's doing to relate to the youth, right? And here she is on Twitter saying Congress just passed the COVID relief bill and it's heading to Biden's desk. And she talks about all the things we've already talked about. Apparently, $10,200 of the UI income won't be taxed. I hope that is true. And she was pretty much celebrating it, right? Celebrating it there. She then says on this next tweet, she has, here's a little brief, I don't know, Johnny, should we show this or should we just go straight to the video? Because this is like a summary. All right, we're going to show this, and then I'm going to show more in-depth parts of her live stream that I watched on Instagram. Yeah, this is now this, and it just sums it up pretty quickly.
We passed the COVID bill, everybody. We got it. Checks are coming out. Did we get everything we wanted? Absolutely not. But did we get things that are going to change people's lives? Absolutely, yes. You are an adult that makes $75,000 or less as an individual, as a married couple up to $150K, I believe, then you will be getting a stimulus check. If you make more than $80K, you will not be receiving a stimulus check. Now, again, this was a huge point of contention for us. What did we do to fight back? We said, okay, you know what? If you're going to try to take this away from people, which we don't agree with, what we demand is that the first $10,200 in unemployment income that people got in 2020 should be tax-free. And so we won that. Even though they brought it and they said $1,400, what we pushed back with was, okay, if you're going to do that, then we need to include dependents and we need to include adult dependents. So while we wanted it to be $2K for all, what we were able to do is that even though it was $1,400, we were able to bring a lot of people from $0 to $1,400.
What does that mean?
Okay, cool. So we can just show, we're going to go through it precisely, the sections. But first, I want to go through a couple of tweets. Yeah, so as you can see, this is everything we asked for, but we fought. So this person said, AOC is on Instagram talking about subsidizing Cobra. People were really pissed off because Cobra is basically, it's just like an excuse to now give you Medicare for all. We're gonna go into it, but what it does is just basically it's supposed to give you more of an opportunity to be able to afford healthcare, but it doesn't work out that way. In brief terms, that's what it's supposed to do. And people underneath that tweet were saying AOC is completely part of the establishment. She is sold out. The metamorphosis is done. It's people are seeing through her finally. I mean, remember a year ago when we were talking about AOC, people were like, oh my God. And even now, Jimmy Dore talks about AOC, like mentions her, and people are still like, you're being sexist, and why is he only attacking women of color and all these other things? It's like, right, fine, tell me, why am I attacking a woman of color as a woman of color? You can't use those tropes against me. You can't, I'm going after her because she's not doing what she's supposed to be doing. She's literally gone back on everything that she was there to do. Just like Biden went back on everything he promised and campaigned on.
Which we knew he was going to do anyways.
Well, yeah. right? Like,
We knew he was going to do this
we
anyways.
knew that.
We knew he was lying. I mean, how could people not realize he was lying when even the fracking thing out of
He's
the
lied
gate?
for
No
48
fracking,
years.
no fracking. I got the nomination. I'm not going to ban fracking, Fram. That's a bunch of malarkey.
So here's AOC again in one of the tweets before we get into the specifics. She said, "It's time to show you the money. Just did an IG live to answer your questions on the COVID package. We talked stimulus checks, child checks, UI, funeral reimbursement, and more. Some of you are going to get more money than you think." And then, of course, she put her little picture of everything that it includes: extra cash per child. FEMA will pay you back for the $7K COVID funeral thing. Cheaper ACA healthcare exchange premiums for some. Free Cobra premiums through September. Assistance for independent restaurants. Easter egg on student loans. That bothered me the most when she talks about that, and we're going to go into it. That bothered me the most.
Easter egg on student loans?
The way she described that. It's like a hidden surprise on student no, AOC, it's not. So, Jonny, when I did this, the numbers, when I looked at the IG live, it was the numbers were what it showed, not what was on the display. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but the times is what I'm talking about. Let's see. Yeah, but I just want to make sure it's the right time, because when I do it on the phone, I don't know if it's for you, but if you go on the phone, you can see the video, and when you move the little thing, it's different. For, you know what, like, okay, I wasn't looking at what's on display here, I was looking at what's here at the bottom. Yeah, so whatever's left is, so at 55:01 of what was left, of what had gone, of what was left is when she starts talking about student loans. Let me see if I can find it really quickly. It's like at 16 minutes.
You need to correct for that, yeah, and they'll just add it to your refund this year. So do that, and you can do that. Someone said student loans. Let's talk about student loans, because I found something very interesting in this bill. Now, before everyone gets ahead of themselves, there is not student loan cancellation in this bill, but there is a provision that feels like an Easter egg, which I think gives us some hope, because not only are college students going to get, stimulus checks that they didn't get last year, but I noticed, and some people noticed, that there is a tax provision tucked away that says if your student loans get canceled, that cancellation, you don't have to pay taxes on that cancellation. Which, in other words, you wouldn't have to, it wouldn't be processed in as though, it would not be, if your student loans get canceled, it will not be treated as though, the government gave you money for you to pay off your loan, so that you would have to pay taxes on that. So let's say you had, several $1,000s in student loan debt, you wouldn't pay taxes on the cancellation for that. Now, there's no student debt cancellation in the bill. So this provision that's tucked in, I think, tells us, if you care about student debt cancellation, it's go time for you. You need to mobilize, and now is the time to organize, to create the political pressure, because in there, tucked away, is almost like a little Someone's paving the path. And I can't.
Okay. So
what the hell was that? Now, before you get excited, fam, there's no student loan in the bill. But if you just said there's no student loan in the bill, I mean, it feels like an Easter egg. Where the fudge did she get this from? Oh my God. Some people lit up in the chat over here. I was like, I know, Trey. Holy cow. An Easter egg? I'm giving you nothing, but get excited over here. I'm giving you nothing. We're getting you nothing. But wait, if it does, someone's paving a path? What is she even talking about? How stupid does she think people are?
I mean, it just looks to me like she's running interference for the Democratic Party. It doesn't even make sense what she's saying. So there's no student loan. There's a little Easter egg in there. She doesn't really explain what that is. I'm guessing it's going to be some sort of like you can't, go after people for not paying their student loan. That it's she didn't specify exactly what it is. But the fact of the matter is there's no student debt relief. Biden said there was going to be, initially he said there was going to be, I think, up to 50,000. And then he said 10,000. And now it's completely non-existent. So
now it's an Easter egg.
But it's an Easter egg. Yeah, let's call it an Easter egg. What?
Oh my Lord.
Fam, the fucked up thing is that she said that you have to, if this is like a big issue for you, then you need to mobilize and get on the ground. When she's in Congress and has the power to fucking do it, right? Force a vote.
But people should mobilize. So here, people should mobilize, but not in the way she's saying, oh, mobilize people need to fucking mobilize into a general strike because this is not okay. This is not okay. What they're doing right now is not okay at all. Not even a little bit. And the fact that she's painting it like it's something like something like that it's on you now, like she has the ability, Johnny, you're right. She has the ability to lead a movement, to organize for all these things. She hasn't done that. Not with force the vote, not with $15 minimum wage that she said she would. She said, oh, we need to force the vote. She didn't do that. Is she going to do it with student loans? No, she's telling you need to do it. Is she going to do it? No, she's not doing anything. And the thing is, if she were to do it and lead that movement, it would mobilize people to do something. People would follow her and do that. Even people who don't like her, they would totally jump on board because it's not about liking her. It's about what needs to be done. It's for the American people, and she's not doing it at all. It's gross. And then, Johnny, I think I put on the... Yeah, she then says that progressives are looking out for you. They're looking out for you.
Claim credit for that provision. If you want, I can go into some of my specific contributions to this bill as a lawmaker. In fact, I will get into one of those a little bit later because it's part of money that you can get, additional funds that you can get. But progressives are looking out for you. And by the way, this is the benefit of electing a movement of progressives to Congress. Because when there's so few of us, like if it's just, and this is the benefit, for example, of expanding the squad. Because when there's just 4 of us, there's only so much we can do, right? There's only physically so many amendments that we can introduce. And people will say, why don't you do that? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Because we're human beings with 24 hours in a day. And so when you elect more progressive members to Congress who are not financed by big money, who are not financed by lobbyists, when you pitch in, small dollar donations, you get people who are looking out for everyday working people. And so I didn't have the bandwidth on this because I was working on unemployment, I was working on adding adult dependents, I was working on FEMA funeral assistance, which we'll get into, but we don't have to rely on one person to do everything. We've got people that are willing, the more progressives we get, the more progress we get. And so someone was looking out.
Jesus Christmas.
All right, you heard that, right?
Oh, excuse me 1 second. Ugh. That's why I was looking around over there. I wanted to throw up. You have to be kidding me with this crap. Fam, with more progressives, you get more progress. How is this any different than what the CARES Act was and what Donald Trump gave and all this? What is so different about this bill? And the way they pat themselves on the back, it's nauseating. What is different, fam? Am I missing something?
Pasta. I don't have the bandwidth, okay? I don't have the bandwidth to deal with all of this.
I was working.
Then you shouldn't have ran for Congress. First of all. Second of all, she's not only patting herself on the back, she's making excuses for herself. And she's also signaling to everybody, criticizing her. If you notice, people ask and say, why don't you do this and why don't you do that? Well, because you're only a human being. And she laughs. She gave me the Kamala Harris impression, like what Kamala does as a nervous tick. She literally did that. She started laughing. Like, there's only so much you can do. I was busy working on a 7,000 funeral. So you prioritize working on giving people $7,000 after they die than giving people money now. You prioritize that? Like, why? Why did you do that? And then, like, talking about how she's focused on unemployment. Unemployment? We went from 600 to 300. What exactly did you do here? What exactly were you negotiating? Like, what is it? Like, let me just say she might as well have gone on there and said, let me just say to all my people who criticize me, this is violence. Stop criticizing me. I'm only human. I'm doing what I can. Leave me alone. Here's what the best we could do. Take it or leave it. Stop complaining. Okay? If you elect more of us, you're going to get more of this. Is basically what she's saying. You're going to get more of this. Look, this is great. Just elect more of us and more of us could do more. No, AOC,
help grow the squad, fam. Help grow the
works.
squad. And the thing about it is really disgusting is when I think about this, I honestly think that Donald Trump changed the Democratic Party even more. At least they would used to act like they can do more. We got to do better. We got you this now. I mean, we know it sucks, but we'll get you more. Hold in there. We got to fight, blah, 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 blah. And give us a bullshit reason why they couldn't fight when they have a completely owned Democratic House, Democratic Senate, and the White House. Bullshit anyways. But now they're patting themselves on the back. They're like congratulating themselves. Like that was the one thing I thought was so nauseating about Donald Trump is like, they said that Operation Warp Speed, my campaign should get all the credit. We should pat ourselves on the back. It was so good. They're doing like the same thing now, except in a progressive way. Like if you elect more progressives, you get more progress. You got to help grow the squad. See what we did for you? We're the champion of the people. I mean, it's nauseating what they're doing, fam.
It's a lot of gaslighting to me. That's pretty much what it feels like. Okay, so on Cobra, and I think it starts at 23, around 23, Johnny. This is kind of her explanation of it, which is she's painting it as it's better than it is. It's not. Okay. Yeah.
If you are on Cobra, what's Cobra? So first piece of good news. If you are on Cobra and your employer was covering your health insurance, so for people who don't know, Cobra is if you lose your job or, if you are no longer employed, Cobra is a way that you can keep your employer given health insurance when you're, after you leave your employment. It is so expensive. It's like insanely pricey for so many people. It's difficult. It's difficult to afford or to maintain. In this bill, if you have Cobra, it will be paid for. Your premium will be paid for 100% until about September. So you don't need to pay Cobra anymore. And that means you can keep your insurance virtually free of cost, which is really, really, really great. There are also, but it doesn't just stop at Cobra. If you get your health insurance off the exchange, there are really important changes that mean you will pay less money and that it will not be as expensive for you. There are provisions. If you make, I have my notes up here because there's like some numbers thresholds and I don't want to get them wrong for you all. So basically, this bill increases the allocations that you all get in order to better afford ACA insurance off the Obamacare exchange. So when I was a waitress, I had to go on the Obamacare website, the ACA website, and frankly, it was the state exchange, the New York State of Health. And then I go up and everything's $300 and it's super expensive and it's got an insanely expensive deductible and it's like so frustrating. What has changed here is that if you buy your insurance through the ACA, you are probably going to have a lower premium across the board that you're going to pay. And it outright eliminates the premium. You don't have to pay anything on benchmark plans for people making under 150% of the poverty level, of the stated poverty level. So I need to figure out, I'm going to try to get that income number for you. But basically, and also if you're making 400% of the federal poverty level, so about $51,000 a year, if you are making about 51,520 is the number, but roughly if you are making under $51,500 a year, you will qualify for federal help, and you will never pay more than 8.5% of, well, not never, but you will not pay more than 8.5% of your income on your premium. And that will last for 2 years. So for the next 2 years, if you get your health care off the exchange, you will not have to pay more than 8.5% of income on your premium, which is a big deal because they're really, really expensive. The federal government is also going to cover a larger share of Medicaid expenses for states that haven't expanded through the ACA. And 12.
All right. So basically, she's selling Cobra to you. She's selling the ACA.
I have an idea, fam. How about instead of fighting to lower insurance premiums, you fight for Medicare for all? Because that was the question I had for you, because I know a lot of people out there are going to say, well, what are you expecting to do? At least they got us this. No, they didn't need Republicans at all. They had the whole Democratic Party. So what does this say about the Democratic Party? I mean, I was going to ask you, well, what could we give them an example to fight for? If there was ever a time to fight for Medicare for all and universal health care, it's right now. And instead, she's playing with fugazi numbers on insurance premiums from Cobra, which is the highest priced insurance in the country. I mean, come on. Cobra's the insurance that you get when you lose your job and you lose your insurance, and it's 3 times the amount. So they're really talking about, hey, listen, everybody, we don't care that you've lost your health insurance through your job. Screw you. Go on Cobra. We'll cut the premium down for you. Maybe. I think. I have to look the numbers up. Let me flick my hair 5 more times. Are you kidding me?
I flip my hair too, but at least I say the truth when I do it.
No, I know. I mean, she's doing it as that once again, she's got the Kamala tip because she knows she's selling you a fake bill of goods over here. And there are so many things they could be fighting for. The Democratic Party, including the White House itself, is supposed to be for $15 an hour. That's another policy they should be fighting for. If you don't need Republicans, ladies and gentlemen, then why didn't they give you what you deserve? They're saying you're worth shit and trying to tell you should pat me on the back for giving you shit.
I was laughing because this is ridiculous. I mean, the fact is she's selling you Cobra. She's selling you that it's a good thing. She's selling you the ACA. She's putting in there the fact that when she was a waitress, when I was a waitress, I didn't have health care because it was too expensive. So I don't know what you did, AOC, but I made too much money to get the free one, and I didn't make enough money to afford it. So that's the truth in basic terms of what it is when you are in the hospitality industry, and anybody can tell you that they don't have healthcare, the vast majority of them. Second of all, she is making it out to be like this is such a wonderful thing. This is progress. See, now for 2 years, Cobra is going to work in your favor because you're not going to have to pay a premium if you make under this much, which we don't really have this exact numbers, but it's like for 2 years, we should have healthcare for all. Every other major country on earth has Healthcare for all. And if you are not fighting for healthcare, you who are the progressive, you who are supposed to be the democratic socialists, the leftists, the champion of the people, along with the squad, if you're not forcing the vote on that, then if you're not at least, like, don't make excuses for this. Call it what it is. This is bullshit. If that were me, I would have said, this is fucking bullshit. And we tried. These people are absolute psychopaths. They refuse to listen to us. You know, I tried to do a sit-in. It didn't work. Like, but she didn't. That's the thing. They didn't try. And that's the thing. Well, I don't have the bandwidth, or we need more of us. Well, yeah, well, you have lots of people. You know, you have millions of people behind you. Why aren't you using that? Oh, because maybe you want to keep your position. Maybe because this is about your career and about climbing up the political ladder rather than actually working for the people. Maybe this is why you have an agent. Maybe this is why you go on Vogue and why the mainstream media loves you, because this is no longer about actually being a public servant. Now you are a celebrity. So when you're a celebrity, well, you have to protect your celebrity status. And that's what it comes across like, oh yeah, well, this is all good. It's okay. It's all good. It's all progress. It's not. This is fucking bullshit. Every other country has it. And every country, without a doubt, provided healthcare for people during a pandemic. We didn't even do that.
I just like to say, fam, that we have a lot of Easter eggs in our chat at Rokfin. But if anybody want to add to this, the chat here, and tell us something that we're missing, where the progressives in this particular situation gave us something that the last administration didn't give us, please let me know. Am I missing something over here, ladies and gentlemen? Just so you know, you could throw your opinion out there. Me and Fiorella will probably disagree. We're not here just to bag on the Democratic Party, just to bag on them. But if we're missing something and you see something out there that's really a shining beacon of light, a real Easter egg, even though you're not going to get it, it's like an Easter egg. We've paved the way for you, fam, for the next part over here.
I need a meme about the Easter eggs, guys. I need Glory Jones to make a meme, or somebody to make a meme about the Easter eggs, because it's almost April. It's going to be April next month, and we're all going to be hunting for that Easter egg. Yeah. The last thing I wanted to show on this video is where she talks about the $2,000 and why they didn't get the $2,000 at about 45-55, Johnny.
So, there were things that we pushed for, that we wanted this package to go further. So how did we want this package to go further? First of all, we wanted stimulus checks to be $2,000. I believe, the argument for it being 400, or rather 1,400, is we gave 600 in December. We have $1,400 now, and both of those things add up to $2,000. I don't like it. I don't buy it. I know a lot of you all don't buy it, because when we say $2,000, people thought we meant $2,000. They didn't think, when we said $2,000, come on. We know that people didn't think, 14 plus the 600. 2,000, 2K is 2K. But, we don't have a magic wand. The fact is that we don't have a magic wand. And so when you have a bunch of people in the party who want 2,000, and then a bunch of people in the party who want 1,400, and the president sides with 1,400, we're going to get the 1,400. But that doesn't mean that we stopped fighting and took that line down, because even though they brought it and they said 1,400, what we pushed back with was, okay, if you're going to do that, then we need to include dependents, and we need to include adult dependents. So while we wanted it to be 2K for all, what we were able to do is that even though it was 1,400, we were able to bring a lot of people from $0 to $1,400. So that's kind of what we did there.
I don't even get that. That's snake math. That's snake math. I don't even get it. Is that why? Because they call it cobra because it bites you in the ass? Somebody said over there, that's snake math. Fam, can you explain that to me? $2,000 is $2,000. No shit. You promised us $2,000. You have a full Democratic majority. Where's the $2,000? I'm lost. I'm flabbergasted at this crap.
So she's saying that Biden and other Democrats did not want the full 2,000, which again, Biden and his people, his administration. I'm about to sneeze. Hold on. Okay. Biden. I'm allergic to this. Biden and his administration initially campaigned on $2,000. No ands, ifs, or buts. Like I said, we've shown the videos. We've talked about this ad nauseum. $2,000. They never said, "Hey, we expect the American people to do some math and understand that we meant 1,400 because minus the 600 Trump gave you." No. It was his administration that was going to promise you $2,000. This is why you voted for him instead of Donald Trump, and some people did, just solely based on that and the $15 minimum wage. They literally based it on that. I know many people who said, just because of the $2,000 and the $15 minimum wage, I'm going to go blue and vote for Joe Biden. And guess what? He didn't give either of them. So now she's saying, oh, Joe Biden didn't want that. But Joe Biden said he wanted it. So who didn't want it? It was a Manchin. Okay, Manchin and other Democrats. Well, guess what? If the majority of Democrats don't want $2,000, then what's the difference between them and Republicans then? Because neither do the Republicans. So it can't be both ways. You can't be hailing your party for saying, oh, they're so great. We tried and we got this and that. And then by the same token saying, well, no, they didn't want the 2,000 and blah, blah, blah. So that's the truth. That's the reality. And it's really, to me, it's disgusting to see her justify this. You know, she says, we tried. To me, that's not trying. To me, trying is actually taking direct action and using your power as a legislator to actually move people to actually push for this. I mean, when is it going to start, Pasta? Because it's not just the $2,000. It was the $15 minimum wage. It was the student loan relief. It was the lack of any healthcare provisions besides the horrible ACA and COBRA. It was all of these things. How many more things do they have to fold back on for the squad to say, you know what? No, we're not going to compromise. We're going to stand together with the vast majority of Americans who are for all of these things that you promised. Because they're not doing that. They're not opposing the leadership of the Democratic Party. That's what they were there to do. They weren't there to oppose Republicans. We already have like the fake opposition to Republicans. They were there to also oppose the Democratic establishment.
Yeah. Well, that was the main reason they were put there. And it's so funny because I was like, I wonder what Donald Trump thinks about this. And I was going to the Twitter to look for Donald Trump and I forgot. Oh, wait, no, he has no Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So you can't even see what other people have to say the way they're silencing people out. But I mean, this is just wow. It's nice because today is the day that AOC has adopted the Kamala.
Yeah. What, Johnny?
So I just want to let people know, I want to show. So HR 1319 is the bill, and it's American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. And this one, became law. You know how it goes. The House votes on it, and then it goes to the Senate. The Senate amended it, and then they voted on it, and they passed it, right? Mm-hmm. So I just want to show y'all what it looks like. So the Senate passed it, right? And required for majority is half, right? So then yeas 50, nays 49, not voting 1. So there were, it was just one Republican who didn't vote. And then, all the Democrats voted for it. And if it's 50, then that's all Democrats, right?
Yeah.
So they didn't need anybody. I'm just showing you that. So that's the Senate. So then it got sent back to the House to get approved after they amended it, right? So here's the House roll call 72, March 10th, 2021 at 2:08 p.m. Yeas 220, nays 211, and not voting was 1. So here we see Democrats, yeas was 220, nays was 1, and then Republican 210 nays and 1 not voting. So basically, all Democrats passed it, and all Republicans said no. So again, just to show the receipts there, that they did not need. They could have passed 2,000. They could have literally passed anything. They literally can pass anything right now. Is what I'm telling you. Medicare for all. stimulus checks, what's it called? Redacted stimulus checks, where we get the stimulus checks back from the months before that we didn't get it for, like every other fucking developed country in the world is doing, right? So there you go. I just wanted to show you that Democrats are shit.
Yeah. Then we get, that's the thing. Then we get, well, the thing they would say, Johnny, is that Manchin would stop them. They would put everything on Manchin because Manchin's one of those guys. I think they said, which one of us Democrats could oppose us but still win a seat? The West Virginia Democrat. Let's, you know what I'm saying? So they use him as a tool, it seems, at times. And, but yeah, they should be able to pass whatever they want because every single time Kamala would have the deciding vote, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51. But they really don't want to do that. So,
yeah,
it is what it is. It is what it is.
So I just want to have the truth. That's what all of the squad said. And I just want to lay out the truth of actually what's happening from the public who has aired their grievances on Twitter. And a girl just knows said, Blue MAGA are trying to turn the Dementia Joe tag into something positive by arguing that Biden is the new FDR. He's done more in 50 days than Trump did in 4 years. Not true, but whatever. It's still all about Trump for these idiots. That's all they've got. And again, they still are making this about Trump. Oh, Trump, this is better than Trump. No, it's not, number one. Number two, Trump's out. Stop bringing him up. He's done. Stop. Like, you have zero excuses. Johnny just showed you the receipts. There is zero excuses for them to have said, oh, we needed to negotiate with Republicans. Zero.
Yeah. Yeah. And the whole time, that's what she was saying. Well, we can get this. We got you this. It went from 0 to 1,400. Like, what does that mean? Oh, so you're talking about the lies that they were gonna push forward, that you weren't willing to call out and say, hey, listen, they're not giving you your $2,000 checks, but we at least got you the 1,400 for people making under 75,000. I like the way what she said too as well. If you're getting 80,000, you're not getting a check. Sorry. Pound sand, you get nothing. Sorry.
That's not a lot of money anymore in this country.
No, and people lost those jobs, fam. If I was still employed with the restaurant business, I would not get a check. If I had my old job at Rocco's, if I had my old job at the place before that, I would not get a check. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't get a check. And if I lost that job and I made the salary the year before, I wouldn't get that check. That's just bogus.
It's bogus.
It's not a ton of money, especially for somebody who lives in Cali.
You wouldn't be able to pay rent. You would, if you would have had a mortgage, you'd be fucked. Like, they don't
totally fucked.
They don't understand all of these things. And most of the people who have jobs like that, a lot of them have families they support. It's not just that.
Oh yeah.
So there's that added factor. Donnie Tiny Hands said, 0 Justice Dems voted to put the minimum wage back in the bill today. 0. Just Dems. They're just Democrats. That's all they are. We said it here on the show. That's all they are. That's all they are.
Justice useless. Democrats are just Democrats. Everybody's saying it now, fam.
It's useless. For what is the point of being like, oh, we elected Justice Democrats, starry-eyed.
But Trump.
What?
We stopped Trump. This is mitigating damage, fam.
The kids are still in cages. Just let me remind you of that. We just changed
facilities,
the name.
Flux facilities. Go ahead.
Okay, yes, exactly. And I just want to reiterate now that I don't think that's the right tweet.
The formerly known as Grift Respecter?
No, that wasn't the right tweet. I have a tweet. If you go to my profile, I have a tweet. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that one. Ilhan, AOC, Sanders, and the Fraud Squad are disgustingly doing PR for Biden's stimulus that reduced benefits for people, omitted every progressive issue they ran on. Let us remind that all these people ran on these issues, and all of them were admitted, gave $52 million in COBRA subsidies for 1.3 million people. So basically, they gave subsidies through COBRA for only 1.3 million people, leaving millions more uninsured. And they're celebrating it like it's the greatest thing. They're celebrating it like this is just like the most epic thing they could have done. If Trump did this, they'd be saying, I can't believe Trump did this to the American people. This is unacceptable. We should have at least given X, Y, Z, because that's the game. That's the game they play. That's it. Both parties give you shit, and they each blame each other and say, "Oh, we could have given you better."
Yeah.
That
The next tweet.
That's the name of the game. And
of course.
Did you have something to say, Pasa?
Of course. No, I just want to do my.
Yeah. Do you want to read what you read this one? Fam.
Say his name, Tubby. Tubby said, and Anna Kasparian liked it, of course. Cenk Uygur. I'm enjoying how boring this speech is. Man, we really elected someone who is the polar opposite of Donald Trump. Sanity is soothing. Hashtag Biden speech.
Because Biden was given a speech today, and he felt the need to say that. Anna Kasparian felt the need to agree. This is TYT, the home of the progressives? If this is what you call a progressive, I'm not a part of it. And Nick is a Dr. Cornell West Democrat or Socialist MMA, said, the TYT army is liking this. Oh my God, he's serious right now. He's serious. They're being serious. The polar opposite of Trump? He's not the polar opposite of Trump. He's the same or worse. Like, this is ridiculous. This is like nothing has fundamentally changed for Syrians, for people in Yemen, for people in the global south. And for us, nothing has fundamentally changed. Perhaps it's gotten worse because guess what? Nobody's calling out the atrocities that the Biden administration is doing except independent media. And not all of independent media, as you can see for yourself.
And today, fam, more than ever, they've earned the name Fraud Squad. Today, they put a stamp of approval on it. FDA approved Fraud Squad. And that's what they are. They show their true colors. Don't buy this bullshit. We're not coming on here just to go after them just because we want to go after them because it gets clicks. We're out here telling the truth. This is a piece of crap, and they're trying to sell you that it's a good bill of goods. It's not.
Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit, fam.
It's terrible. It's less than what the last administration gave you. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to give you nothing what you asked for, nothing that they said they would give you. And they'll just constantly put up distractions after distractions after distractions. Look at them to go after one of the Republicans this week coming up, whether it be Marjorie Taylor Greene, Josh Hawley, one of the people out there who they can just get people's eyes and minds off what's really going on when it comes to policy that helps American people. You know, the bread and butter policies, which we talk about. Let's get people resources that have been solely just so stripped away from them. And now let's help them out. That will help everything else out. Once we start there, we can start working on other things. But no, they're not going to give you anything. Suck up and like it. If you want more progress, fam, vote progressive.